Hello, I'm Chris Holland from the Environmental Protection Agency. I'm here today to discuss some of the training program with wastewater treatment facilities. A little bit about myself. I have a Bachelor's of Environmental Health and Safety from Oakland University and have over 5 years experience. Some of my past experiences include working with wastewater treatment facilities to work safely and efficiently with wastewater and other hazardous chemicals. I worked with the Department of Natural Resources and conducted experiments with them in determining the effects of wastewater on the environment. The project with the DNR has been on wastewater exposure to the environment through the use of lagoons and wastewater holding tanks. We're attending this training to learn important skills and knowledge needed to increase personal safety in treatment facilities, as well as learn how to identify, isolate, and clean up hazardous spills that can be hazardous to the employees within the facilities. If employees are injured from these spills, the operation of the treatment facility can be drastic. Wastewater treatment facilities are in need of quality employees. Facilities are short-handed and are dealing with excessive wastewater coming into the treatment facilities. The excessive amount of wastewater cannot undergo treatment quickly and efficiently without the correct amount of quality employees. So the need for training we are going to talk about includes a lack of use in personal protective equipment within the facilities, hazardous spills in the facilities, along with hazardous materials used in the facilities, and the correct employees needed to be contacted in case of a spill. The purpose of the training today is going to cover the proper use of PPE. Have some examples here I'm going to show you. I'm going to discuss the ability and importance to isolate hazardous spills and the ability to contact the right person in case of a spill. The learning objectives: trainers will learn to properly and effectively use PPE. Trainers will learn who to contact in case of hazardous spills. Trainers will learn how to isolate these hazardous spills to eliminate the hazard spreading throughout the facility. So that kind of gives you an idea of what we're going to be talking about. So I have some examples here. We're going to start with PPE. First off, we're going to start with footwear. You're going to want to wear leather work boots. These ones I have here are steel toe. Steel toe are not mandatory. They are nicer, keeps you from, protects your feet a little bit better. These are leather. They are only a 6-inch high. They do lace fully, snugly around your feet. They are very comfortable. These ones on the bottom are labeled oil and slip resistant. You want to make sure that your boots are slip resistant. Wastewater facilities include lots of water. You can have spills you come into contact with, and having a slip resistant shoe is important. This is going to reduce hazards and eliminate injuries. Next thing I'm going to talk about are your gloves. You're going to want gloves. These are coated, so they repel water nicely if you get wet. When you put them on, they should be snug. They are longer. They go up the wrist, and long sleeves tuck under the glove. So if you get wastewater hazardous materials on your hands or splashing, it covers up your hands. It covers your clothes, so you're not getting the wastewater on your clothes and transporting that. Next thing we're going to talk about is eye protection. Eye protection is very important. You don't want wastewater splashing in your eyes. I do have several types here. Your first type are just a basic wrap around. The edges wrap around your eyes, protect the sides of your eyes so you're not getting splashed in the eyes. These are adjustable, so they do adjust to different size heads. These you want to make sure are snug. You want to wear these all the time. Some individuals who have glasses, they do make a second style, which are a little bit bigger, a little more bulky, but they go over your corrective lenses and allow you to see still with your glasses, obviously. So next thing we're talking about is our hearing protection. You can get your standard earbuds, earplugs. These are just individual. You squeeze these and you put them in your ear, and they expand to block out the excessive noise. These treatment facilities can be very loud. There's a lot of pumps running, machines working. There's also a lot of vehicles that are going around and create excessive noise too. The second style here I have are similar to the first style. They're earplugs, but they are attached to a cord. These are nice because you can put them around your neck. You don't lose them. The little ones, when you take them out, they might fall out of your hand, and you might put them in your pocket. They might fall out of your pocket, so you lose them. These are nice with the cord. They stay right around your neck. You won't lose these. These are also nice because they're very light. They're not heavy, so your neck doesn't get strained. And the next style I have here are ear muffs. These are nice because they surround your ears completely. They block out a lot of the noise as well. The downside to these, they're big, they're bulky, they're heavy, they can get in the way. So we recommend using the earplugs and try to avoid the earmuffs, but if earplugs are not available, there are earmuffs. So that covers pretty much our general use of PPE. Next, we're going to talk about isolating spills when we come into contact and occur spills. The first thing you want to do is warn others that are around in the area. You do not want them to come into contact with the spill. The less contact the spills have with the employees, the better. This helps to eliminate slip and falls and just any injury that can occur from them. Once you warn others, you want to find some way to caution the spill to others. Get a wet floor sign. Get some, there's some rings that I'm going to show you a picture of here in a minute that isolates the spill from spreading. Need to be blocked off immediately. Again, blocking them off eliminates contact of the spill, possible hazardous material to other employees. Preventing the spread of the spill is important because if you start tracking that spill around, walking through it, then it's a bigger mess and more people can come into contact with that. The picture here is an example I have of spreading or isolating the spill so it does not spread. You have your standard ring here. You have your employee wearing his PPE. He's got his eyeglasses, his gloves. He's got boots on. This might be a more severe case where he's got a suit on. He's got his caution signs. This is a perfect example of isolating the spill correctly. So then, what do you do when you find the spill? You don't know if it's hazardous or non-hazardous. You want to look for the department manager. This is just a quick example of the manager. They are, again, the work boots. They have gloves. So they have their PPE on. Department managers have the vest on. So that's a good way to know who to contact. If they can't be found, look for a vest or talk to other employees who might know where they're at. They are stationed in each area of the facility. So there should be one relatively in the area. Again, they're identified with the safety vest. You can determine if spills are hazardous or non-hazardous. If they're hazardous, the department manager will clean it up. Again, they'll make sure they have the proper PPE, the proper materials, and the proper means to dispose of the materials. So that being said, that covers your PPE, the importance of isolating spills, and who to contact. So PPE is essential because you want to keep the employees safe. The slip-resistant footwear reduces possibilities of slip and falls. It's the best way to protect the feet. You have your gloves. Gloves protect your hands. You don't want to get your hands in the wastewater. Protects your body from absorbing the chemicals that might be in the wastewater. It also covers your wrists and your clothes from transporting the hazardous materials. Again, your safety glasses cover your eyes, protects them from wastewater that may splash onto your eyes. Hearing protection, again, I showed you 3 different kinds: earplugs with a cord or neckband, and earmuffs. Excuse me. You want to avoid the earmuffs. They're big, they're heavy, can cause a lot of strain on your neck. Earplugs are light, small, the ones with the neckband, so you don't lose them in your pocket, fall out of your pocket. Again, you want to make sure you have all the proper PPE on before you isolate a spill, if you encounter one. Isolating the spills reduce the hazard and the possibility of injury and hazard to other employees. It eliminates the risk of slip and falls to these employees. Other employees come into contact with the hazardous spill and can be very detrimental. We want to avoid that at all costs. Contacting the department manager, again, they are identified with an orange vest. They can quickly diagnose the spill, and they can help clean it up. If it's non-hazardous, the employee who found it, they can clean it up, get the proper paper towel, oil dry, some kind of absorbent material to absorb that and dispose of correctly. If it is hazardous, the department manager can identify that and they can clean it up safely. When you clean up those, again, the material you use to clean up the hazardous spills, you're going to want to keep them separate from normal garbage or hazardous disposal, non-hazardous disposal. So you're going to put them in a separate bag, the paper towel, kitty litter, the oil dry, whatever you use as an absorber, and then you're going to dispose that in a hazardous material container. So those are the 3 learning objectives that we want the training program to learn and take away from the training. The assessment activities that I'm going to use to assess the training are just going to include a few simple questions to the trainees. The overall importance of the PPE, we want to make sure the trainees know and understand each piece of the personal protective equipment, your safety glasses, your ear protection, your footwear, and your gloves. We're also going to ask them, why do we isolate the spills, and why do we isolate spills before contacting the department manager? The trainee should be able to answer these questions and describe that we want to isolate the spills to avoid further contamination to other employees or the spread of hazardous material. We isolate the spills before contacting department manager because we don't want other employees to come into contact with the water, slip and fall, become injured. It's going to increase lost work days, and that's not good for the company. Again, a simple question, assessment question. We're going to ask them, how do we know who the department manager is and where can we find them? They are in each area of the facility. They are wearing their personal protective equipment, so they may blend in, but they do have a safety vest on. They're going to be easily identified in that way. Again, these are all fairly easy questions. If trainers are paying attention, they'll understand these questions. I pass the personal protective equipment around the room so they can get a feel for it, look at it, try it on, that kind of thing. So some evaluation questions I plan on using are more specific to the training. I'd ask, why is it important to learn the listed training topics? They're all important to use together to work safely and efficiently in the training facilities. How are they related? Same thing. You want to make sure you wear your PPE at all time, and you want to make sure you wear it, especially when you come into contact with the spills, hazardous spills. Another evaluation question I plan on using: how do the training goals increase safety and operation in the facilities? If you wear your PPE, there's less prone injuries, less prone contact with possible wastewater, possible hazardous materials, spills in the facility. When you identify spills, you isolate them, you eliminate contact between other employees with the spills. Less injuries and less slip and falls, less workman's comp for the company. They love that. They don't want to pay workman's comp because they want their employees, one, to be safe and work efficiently. The other thing that I plan to use, I would ask the trainees to demonstrate the proper use of PPE. When I ask them to demonstrate this, they're going to show me what safety glasses they should use. If they have glasses, they should choose the ones that fit over their existing glasses. That would be these ones here. Again, they're a little bulky. They cover the eyes nice, cover the glasses. Ones that don't, they can wear just your standard safety glasses that wrap around. They aren't flat on the front. They contour nice around the face. Great ergonomical feel. Very comfortable. So they should be able to handle that nicely. They should be able to demonstrate the proper use and wearing of gloves. Put them on. They should make sure they tuck their sleeves in the gloves. Have zero problems with that. And they should know that because putting your sleeves in the gloves eliminates the potential of hazardous spills and materials getting on their clothes. After we covered safety glasses and gloves, they're going to choose ear protection. They're going to want to. Some may choose ear muffs, which is okay. Again, they're bigger, they're bulky, they do get heavy. There's many ways to wear them, but if they're heavy, employees may take them off because it's too heavy, it's straining their neck. So we recommend either earplugs with a cord, neck cord, or just regular earplugs. Again, these are nice. They stay around your neck. You don't lose them. The footwear, again, you're going to want a nice work boot, steel toes optional, leather. You're going to want 6 to an 8-inch high on your leg. Just kind of covers the bottom part of your leg. Oil slip resistant. These are very nice. There's a lot of possible materials on the floor, wastewater that can come into contact with these facility employees. And then finally, I'm going to use a written test and administer that to the trainees. This is just going to cover how well I did as a trainer explaining the material. It's got 5 options to cover questions. I'm going to ask questions. How well did you hear the trainer? So the trainer can hear me, understand me. They're going to have choices of very good, slightly good, good, not good, and terrible. We don't want to have anything in the middle, so having terrible is just kind of, I'm really not doing a good job. I'm going to ask how well you could understand the trainer. There's a difference between hearing the trainer and understanding them. If you understand the trainer, or you can understand me, you're understanding the material, you're learning the material, you're remembering it, you're comprehending it. Ask another question. How well did the trainer keep your attention? I'm not sitting here lecturing, so that again should be very high. I'm using props. I'm going to be passing them around the room. Passing around the room might be distracting, but it gets a close-up view of the personal protective equipment. Fourth question I asked, how well did the trainer explain why the material is important? So not only am I providing the material, but I'm also explaining why it's important and what effect it has on the individual and the facility in general. Finally, I'm going to ask, how well did the trainer explain the specific learning goals? These goals are important because each one needs to be learned and understood and remembered by the trainees. If they do not understand something, they do not remember it, this can create hazards and injuries in the facility that we don't want. So every bit of information can be found here in the trainer hand guide I'm going to provide. This has everything labeled nicely, all the information. They can follow along. Again, this should not be distracting. Trainees that are paying attention are going to follow along, read along, and understand. They can stop and ask questions. Okay, so thank you guys for listening today, and any questions you can email me, and I'll provide my email. Thank you.